So what does J.D. stand for?
Julio Daniel.
1-0.
All right.
What is
That was
Mookie's
easy.
first name?
Marcus.
Oh, how do you spell it, though?
Yeah.
How do you spell it?
Markus.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, I got you, dog.
How many home runs does J.D. have this season?
He knows that
It's
one.
29.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was 28, and then I remember the last one. Yeah.
All right.
Who's Mookie's favorite non-baseball athlete?
You have no idea.
I have no idea. It's not even obvious. I mean, I want to say Jordan because that's all he wears.
Right sport. Stay current.
LeBron?
No.
Well, Kobe's retired, so.
He likes Kobe, but he's
Do
retired.
like Kobe.
Who is it? Durant? Curry? Am I close?
You hit it. Which one?
Durant.
That's the one that came out that you said.
KD?
KD, that's my dog.
That's a random.
It's not.
That's totally random. I would have never guessed
No.
that.
He's 7 foot and scores 40 every game.
I
And
mean,
you know I love basketball.
All right. But over Jordan?
I mean, dude, I'm 25, not 45.
All right.
Come on, bro.
Yeah, I can respect that.
What's J.D.'s walk-up song?
JD's walk-up song. It'd be good if I ever listened. But I don't ever
10
listen.
years underneath.
Oh, dang! I know this song. Cause you use it you've used it for forever.
Yeah.
I drew a blank. I feel like I know this.
Rick Ross.
Hustling.
There you
That's
go.
right. Yeah. I knew it, but I couldn't think of it. I don't know if that counts. Yeah. Dang it.
What
Sorry.
does Mookie always do before a game?
Stress out.
That's one.
What does he always do before a game? Like it's something that stands out.
Superstition?
You have a superstition?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
I don't know the answer to this question.
You
But
know-
when he answers it, I'm like, oh, yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Let's make it easier on you.
Yeah.
What does Mookie always do when he gets to the dugout after hitting?
No, you go by, you give everybody a high five, or you just put the helmet back and then you go back underneath. I know his little home run thing. He comes out with a towel. That's his Mookie thing.
Is that it?
He puts a towel on his
No.
head.
What else does he put on his head?
I don't know, man. What is this?
Why does he put the hat? Why does he put the towel on his head?
You want the real answer?
Oh, yeah.
Because Mookie got a bald head.
I'm trying to get it to grow in, bro.
Mookie
Hey,
shit. All right, I'm not gonna do you like that. No. We're gonna leave the hat on. We're gonna
that's
leave
why I
the
got it on right now.
You got it on.
Just in case they tried to get a 360.
Good thing you wore that hat. We would have got you right now.
I'm trying to get a little serious, and then I'll go back to it.
All right.
After the 2016 breakout year you had, quote unquote, you said, I'm a realist, and I know I ain't getting much better than that. Meaning that was pretty much the best season of your career, and it already had happened. Yet, this year, you've had a better season. What do you attribute that success to?
This guy.
Stop.
And, I mean, the coaches, AC, Timmy Hires, Barquette, Rags, all the coaching staff, and came in and gave me a new perspective on everything, gave me some confidence. Like I said, this guy, he keeps me in line every day. I'm kind of stressing here and there, and he just finds a way to calm me down and tell me to go out and play. And so it's like every day I have a new perspective on what I need to do, according to who's pitching or the situation of games.
JD, how do you find a way to communicate with him about, hey, listen, this is just a game, or on the approach side to make him better?
I think it's easy with him. He's a guy that's very, obviously we know talented, but very hungry for information. You know, he's always asking questions, always wanting to know, you know, whatever game plan is. Why are we looking for this? Why is this? Why is that? And it makes it really easy to relate to him because it kind of reminds me of myself, you know, and the way that I look at hitting and the way that I study it. And, you know, I kind of have all this information that I've accumulated, and he's a guy that's always asking for it, and it's just easy to relate with him when it comes to that.
I remember sharing the same uniform with you in 2013, and one time we had a conversation in the hallway, and it was about, what do you think? Should I make the adjustment? Should I change my approach of hitting from what you were once to what you are now? I think a lot has to do with knowing that you belong more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
You lead the league in home runs in the first half. What's that journey been since that moment, pretty much that I spoke to you, to who you are now as a player?
You know, it was tiring, exciting, humbling, a blessing. You know, I mean, it's been, I feel like all of it. You know, there's times where it's like, dude, it's a grind. You know, you're making all these changes and you're doing these things that feel so new, that things you haven't done and that you've never even thought of to do. And all of a sudden you're asked to make the changes and to make them fairly quickly, you know, at the level that we were at, you know, at the major league level. But I think just, you know, seeing the reward side of it and being rewarded because of it, you know, with the performance and stuff like that, made it so much easier, and it's made it so much more, you know, where I fell in love with it. And it's just one of those things that every day keeps growing. Every day it's something that I got to continue to work on, continue to grind. And, you know, that's why I feel like I am who I am, and I don't take it for granted. I don't take a day for granted. I try to, you know, stay on top of it every single day and continue to work hard on it.
Granted, J.D. is a new addition to this team this year, but apart from J.D., what do you see as the difference, man, in this lineup, in this team from last year? I know there's a lot more power, but how has all this come about?
You know, I think as a team we have like a whole new outlook. We all kind of have a game plan, and we all kind of use that game plan to our advantage. I mean, you know, he's affected more people than he actually knows, you know, and I think 1 through 9 can take something from him and the, you know, our other hitting guys, Hires and Barquette, and kind of implement it into their games. And whether it's a small change or a big change, we know what the approach is against different guys, and I think you kind of see that throughout the whole lineup. We're all kind of hitting the same, you know, and we're going about having the same at bats. I mean, we just wear down pitchers because we're fouling off pitches and waiting for something good, and then when we get something good, we know we're making, you know, solid contact, driving the ball, and you know, we're not just hitting a bunch of little singles. You know, we're driving the ball all over the field, and then when we need to take our singles, you know, we'll just grind out, you know, 4 or 5 singles in a row and just run the bases right. So I think it's just one of those things where it's just one unit, and we're all just plugging forward.
What do you like about playing at Fenway, where a lot of skeptics were saying, well, it's not really designed for your swing, yet you're proving a lot of people wrong because you continue to go right center field, you continue to go center field. If they hang it, you're going to hit it over the wall. I mean, that wall beats up on a lot of people, that stadium does, yet you've made the adjustment this year.
You know what? When I like it, because it's just the energy in there is great. You know, every day it's a great energy to play in front of. You know, the fans are there. It makes it easy when you come back from a road trip and you're tired to go in there and play, just because you just feel that. You feed off the environment. You know, the thing with Fenway is there was a big question for me. Everyone always asked me that. That was the number one question I'd get all the time. And, you know, I think just really understanding that that's a trap. Don't get caught up in the wall. Just stick with my approach and stick with who I am and what got me here, and not thinking about that. And Yeah, there's times where, at the beginning of the year where I hit some balls and I was frustrated. But I said to myself, I'm not changing. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm going to continue to do. This is what got me here. So that's kind of just what I continue to do, and I don't worry about that right field or the left field trying to pull it and stuff like that. I find myself at times where I do get in trouble when I try to just catch it out in front a little bit more, and I have to bring myself back. Like, dude, get back to you.
And this question I'm going to ask it, I'm going to lay out on this, and I'm going to see if you guys can discuss this for me, because all you know is Red Sox, and you've seen different venues. You've seen from an empty stadium in Houston to Detroit to Arizona to now. But describe, I don't know what it feels like, but describe the Yankee-Red Sox rivalry, especially with so much youth on both teams. I think it's neat as heck looking at it from the outside in.
I've been in it since 14, so I think my first game was in it. And at that time, guys were a little older, so it was a little different. It seemed like those guys were, on their way out, and there was a need for a new wave of guys to come in. As 15 and 16 started rolling around, you started seeing your Judge and let's see, I can't even think of, Severino was coming up through then. Actually, they got a bunch of younger guys. I think Bird was coming up through then. So as those guys started coming, it seemed like it started brewing a little more. And now obviously you got young guys all over the field, and anytime that you're facing the Yankees, I mean, it's just, without even thinking about it, it's just, what kind of rivalry it is. It's you have to kind of calm yourself down and say it's just another game, just like we just finished playing in Toronto or Baltimore or whatever, but it just catches up to you. I mean, no matter where you are, if you're playing the Yankees, you just know this is about to be a special game or about to be a big game. It's a big game, even though it's game 10 of the season. So I mean, that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, I mean, when I first came over, everybody was talking about it, and I was like, all right, let's kind of, let's see what this is about, really. And, for me, I just took it like we're playing Toronto or Baltimore. It's another team in our division. But I think the fans is kind of what the fans, first of all, you walk into the locker room and there's, I feel like twice as much media as there is on a normal thing. Then you turn on the TV and it's all everybody's talking about. The fans and the media love it, and they put all this attention on it. And then they start throwing the documentaries and these things of the fights back in the day, and you're just like, dude, are we like, we're a part of this now? Like, you know what I mean? But, I remember like we kind of talked about it, and, it was our one thing. It's like, dude, yeah, it's the Yankees, but let's just continue to play our game, and let's continue to focus on us and not get caught up in it. Because it's so easy to get caught up in it. The moment you get out there and you're in Yankee Stadium and you're just getting booed, Mookie walks up to the plate first at bat and everyone's booing Mookie. It was like, how can you boo Mookie? He's like the nicest guy. Like, I don't get it. But that's what it's about, and the fans just they bring you into that rivalry. Sorry, and it's exciting. I think it's good for the sport, especially now because the teams are so young. Like you said, there's youth on both sides, so I don't feel like it's going to be a short-term, clash. I think this is going to be a clash for a couple years now. I mean, you got this guy, you got Benintendi, Judge, Bogarts, all these young guys that are, that are coming up, Torres, Andujar, Severino. I mean, there's a good core of young guys that are coming up at the same time, so it's going to be fun in the next couple of years.
You've been there half a season, and I need you to answer these questions, and I need you to correct them on the way to say it, because you're the veteran here now. On this one.
Oh God, I'm nervous.
What's the name of your stadium?
Fenway Park.
Could you correct them on that?
Fenway Park.
Did you guys plan this out or something before I came in here?
No, I just know, bro.
All right.
You better learn it.
All right.
Where do you usually park the car when you're in Boston?
At the park?
He's getting better, but where do you usually park it?
You can park the car anywhere in any of the garages.
Garages.
What's the university in Cambridge called?
Cambridge. Dang, you got me there. I mean, I know all the universities that are there, but I don't know where they're at exactly.
I'm gonna say it's Harvard.
Harvard? I was gonna say that one.
What's impressed you most about him as a teammate?
Oh man, just the way he prepares. I mean, he goes in every day. It doesn't matter if it was just 4 for 4 yesterday. He's preparing today the same way he did yesterday, and I think just so how much he knows, going into the game, it's like you're already ahead of everybody because you know what you need to do to succeed, and you know what you need to stay away from or how you're going to fail. And I think his energy and how he rubs off on everybody is just something that you can't teach. I mean, it's just something that you love to be around, and I couldn't ask for anything more. I mean, he's taught me so much this year, without him even, like I said, without him even knowing. I ask him questions all the time, but sometimes I just kind of sit back and watch too, and learn that way. So, he's affected me in a lot of ways.
Yeah, thanks, Moog. Appreciate it, bro.
And what's impressed you most about him as a fielder?
As a fielder, like defensively?
Well, that sort of applies.
All right. I don't just his ability out there, his ability. I mean, to me, I don't see many right fielders. I mean, that are better than him in the game right now. To me, I think the most impressive thing about Mookie and in general is how good he is, but how humble he can be at the same time. And I think a lot of the times is, you have a guy that's kind of been good his whole life, and they get to a certain point and they just think they kind of know everything, and they kind of like, oh no, this is my way, I do it my way. Mookie's not like that. Mookie's, like I said, he always wants to learn. He always wants to hear everybody's point, everyone's side of thing, and that's why I think that he will always be good, because he's never satisfied. He always wants to be better every day, like whether it's defensively, base running, offensively. He gets on me at times when when I'm on base or something like that. Like, dude, how can you not? You can steal on that. Let's go, like and stuff like that, and I love it. And I think that trait is something that you can't teach, and that trait doesn't matter how much talent you have. It's something that takes you, I think, to the next level.
Last question. One word for each of you. Alex Cora. One word.
Irreplaceable.
Dang, that's a good one. I think you stole mine. Oh my God.
And I got a high school education.
Dude, I don't know. Trying to figure out here. So many words I feel like I can use.
She's one of them. It is one.
You won't be wrong. One.
I want to say, it's going to sound weird, but like ambitious, He's always just pushing, wants everyone to get better, wants, find any little thing that we can get better at and continue to grow. And he's always pushing us.